Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, Series 14. And this is from day 16 because I liked it and I didn't have a chance to do it on day 16. And it was from Ashley from the Scrapping Nerd. And then I'm also using some of my Counterfeit Kit challenge for March. I still have a bit left, but so the sketch is up on that upper right part of the screen, and I'm going to use a plate because I don't have anything that's big like this to cut a circle. So dinner plate it is. And so I strategically put it so that I had the most bikes on it that I wanted, because I really wanted that orange bike and the blue bike. And then, because these are the ones that I'm scrapbooking today of my daughter, I don't actually pull them close to the screen today. I don't know why. I just didn't. So I've been thinking of what I want to put on the background. I definitely did not like the white. And then I'm looking at this side. I want something more contrasting. I thought maybe this one. I don't like that one, but I do like this piece of scrap that I have. So I am going to cut it down. They are about 1 centimeter wide for the strips. And so I cut a whole pile of the strips to start with. And doop, doop. I cut a little more than I need because, well, whatever. I'm cutting strips. I can use the strips for other things. They can go in my drawer of, hey, I have lots of borders. But so I'm just kind of putting these out. I like this. I like the contrast that has with the yellow on that page. It kind of matches. It's a little less bright than the blue that's on that page that has the labels and the bikes. The circle pattern paper that I have now is from Close to My Heart. And then I'm just seeing what I can use for backgrounds because I'm not feeling just the black either. And some of these would have been okay. Like I want something to pop. And I don't like the cream and the white, so that's a no. And I didn't like the stripes and the stripes. This could have worked, but I didn't like it as much. This one would have been kind of okay, but it just isn't popping like I want it to. And then I'm going to look at that one. I was thinking maybe. And then I turn this one over and it has that orange and the pink that's in the top paper. And I like how it kind of matches. It's still not popping, but I'm going to fix that here in a second. So I am going to cut this flower paper down by, I think it ends up being 1/2 inch. So there's 1/4 inch going all the way around. Or, I don't know. It might have been taking 1/4 inch. No, I think it was 1/4 inch, and then there's 1/2 inch, so there's 1/4 round. Holy moly. Brain and mouth not communicating. And then what I decided is I'm going to mat my circle in black so that it pops off of that background, but it is still in those same color families. So I cut with my X-Acto knife a hole so then I could get my scissors in, and then I just cut around, and then I'm going to paste this on, and then I'm going to trim up the circle just a little bit more so it's a little bit more even. I was going to try and it wasn't going to pull off. That Close to My Heart paper sticks really well. And so I'm just going to kind of fussy cut this closer so it gets a good trim, because I don't want a lot of the black, but just enough to make that pop. And I really like the way that looks now. So I'm going to rough it up with my finger, just so that you can't tell my circle is absolutely not a circle. It's not completely a circle. It's not a perfect one. And that just kind of fools your eye a little bit. And then this becomes my border. And so I've really utilized that black piece of cardstock this time around. And then this is going to go on flat and centered, pretty close to centered. And then these bluish green strips are going to go here. And I'm going to put them all up on foam adhesive, like foam dots, foam adhesives, foam squares, and this way is easier to get it on. And they're going to be about a half a centimeter apart. And I'm going to get those all on. So there ends up being 5 pieces of square dots on them to hold them all up properly. And then these are all the pictures I'm going to put on. So I'm going to crop 2 of them down to 3x4s. So that one and this one. This one because she's looking at the camera and just got a really great smile on her face. And so those 2, and then these 2 she's quite a bit smaller in. The other one I'm not going to use because her eyes are closed and it's not the best picture of her anyway. So, and then so this one I'm trimming down to be a 3x2. And then this one ends up being 1.5 by 2.5. And so they're going to kind of nestle like almost like that. And so I do decide this 6th piece I do want in there here in a second. Just trying to figure out kind of the layout of this. I do want those to line up. And then I do want this one in here because it's going to give more support to those 2 photos that are going to overlap it anyway. So 5 more square adhesive. And then that I like, and this is how I did all the other ones, is I lined up my T-square, mostly eyeball the placement of it. I don't actually measure, but I do want them straight, so I do use my T-square to get that on straight. And then that gives me a little bit more support for these photos. And then I was thinking about, what do I back these in? So I thought maybe orange. When I pull out the different oranges, it just washes her out. And then this pink would have been, I don't know, it was just a little too bright for everything else going on. But I was going to go with it. And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't really like that. So I'm still debating, but it's overtaking the page. So I went and grabbed some other cardstock, and that orange is not going to work. I thought maybe a green that would match the green in the circle, and that's not going to work for me. These pinks are just too much. Those greens are not going to work. I don't have enough of this. I could turn the other page I have around and use it, but I thought maybe this yellow, but I don't quite have enough of it. This green is more along the lines that's in the background, but I don't like it. So I pick out this pale pink, which is actually almost the same color of what she's wearing, and I like that more. And it doesn't overtake the page, but it does draw your attention to my photos. So, and they are going to get about 1/8 of an inch border. So I don't want too much. Those 3x4s have a little more than that right now, but I will trim them down here. And just a little piece out of this is what I need. And I didn't cut it right, so I'm going to try it again. And I'm just going to cut it because that was way easier with this little one. And then the rest of them are going to get glued down and put on, and just fuss in a little bit. And that looks good to me. And so I'm going to get them glued on, and then I'm just going to trim them off. And last one. And then roughen up the edges so that because I cut them by hand, it's not going to be as noticeable. And I did decide that I'd ink them in black, and it just gives just the tiniest bit of border, and then that adds a little bit of definition and separation between the blue and the yellow, and I like that a lot. So and this 3x4 is going to get a couple of foam dots on the corners just to be able to get it to stay so it doesn't sag. And then I missed a couple. Actually, this one did have 5, but I did not put them in the right spot, so it was sagging a little bit, so I just put some more in there. And then I'm going to use liquid glue here and my dots on that corner, and then I like that a lot. I'm just going to eyeball this one and glue it straight down. So the left 2 photos, because those strips are elevated, those photos are elevated, and then this little guy is also going to get elevated because it's going to overlap this last strip, and I like that. And so I picked out these letters, and I found these wood veneers on our bicycles because it's pretty busy, so there's not a lot that needs to go on here. So I'm going to put, my title is going to be Just Ride, but I thought maybe it would just be the ride instead of with the just. So I get the ride on, and I thought that the bike could go there, and a little one up here, a medium one, and the large one. But I had these stickers out. It had a picture of a girl on a bike, but it didn't quite work. And then I decided the just is going to go on, because why not? We said that to her a lot. I think I have another bike one that is something along of the line as Just Ride, because she looks super happy right here, but she'd get totally freaked out and then not want to do it. And I don't know, it is what it is. But she's 16 and still doesn't completely enjoy riding a bike. So I wanted these bikes to stand out a little bit more, so I'm popping them on my ink pad, and I'm using my dauber, and I'm just pushing it right into there to get a really dark black color on it. And that made it super easy. So this larger one is going to overlap the picture, and they just kind of step down, and I really like that. So this one here, right above the J, and then overlapping the photo. And I'm going to do some splatters. So I put that on to make sure I don't get very much on my pictures. There must be some glitter mist or something in my water right now, because these end up having a bit of a sparkle to them. My ink pad definitely does not have sparkle, so it must be in the water, which is fine. It dries quite a bit more on the gray side, which is also okay. But I'm adding lots and lots of splatters all over, and then they do become quite muted, definitely, as they dry. And then I'm just adding a couple little bits where I want them to be, and then just cleaning off the pictures with a wet wipe, and a few more, and clean it up. And then I'm going to put some enamel dots on, and I'm going to choose like a similar pink to what she's wearing, just to bring that pink in a little bit more to the background. Just along that diagonal. So and I did think about putting a chipboard piece on it, but there wasn't really anything that I wanted to put on it that worked. So This one says, I think it says 1 in a million, something like that. But it doesn't really add anything, so I decided nope. And then I thought about that heart and it was a nope. And I decided I'm done. So here is a close-up of my page. There'll be some close-up video or photos here coming as well. That one just so you can see the dimension between the background and those strips and those bikes and it all together. Thanks so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you here, and there's a couple other videos. Have yourself a great day.